Fonzie after 5.
Hello and welcome back for episode 2 of Fonzie After 5, my ode to late night 90s call-in radio with a holiday twist. In another ode to the 90s, it turns out that I still own a shockingly large number of flannel shirts, which I'll be sporting throughout these episodes. So get cozy, start your fireplace, and enjoy. Tonight I will be talking with soprano Susanna Phillips. Welcome, Susanna. Susanna Phillips, thank you so much for joining me tonight and talking to me for a little bit. How are you doing and where are you right now?
So great to see you. I'm fine. I'm healthy. My family's healthy. We are probably a little sick of each other by this point, but we're happy to be around each other right now. I'm currently hunkered down on Long Island with my husband and our 4 kids, and it is a circus every day, but we're hanging in there and doing pretty well.
That is a full house. Is that your permanent home, Long Island?
No, so New York City's our permanent home, but during the pandemic, we decided to come out here, and so we're halfway up on the north side, very near water. It's really peaceful and quiet, which is great.
So what's the age group you've got there at home with you?
So we have, let's see, almost 14, 12, 4 and a half, and 3. So we've got
Wow.
all of it going on all the time.
Yeah, for sure. Is there some remote schooling going on as well as just
so far they're all in person. So far they are in school in person. I mean, we're taking it day by day. Who knows?
Yeah.
But right now they're in school in person, and they're all really excited about that. I think the summer was really hard on them. All of them, because they didn't see their friends and they didn't get to socialize in that way. And I think for both of those age groups, it's just a really important time to have those interactions. So for them, I think it's wonderful that they're back in school. They're learning a lot, and they go to 2 different schools, and both of their schools have done so much to make it possible for them to be at school in a safe way. So we're all really, really happy and crossing our fingers for every day that they can be there.
Is your husband working from home?
He is. He's working from home, but I also, when the kids are in school, that's when I have time to practice. That's when I have time to work on music and, feel like a person and not just mom. And, I think all of my children are really happy to not have school teachers, Susanna, because that's a totally different ballgame. But I think right now, I'm having a really great time just kind of going back to the basics of music and why I love it, and singing what I love to sing, and trying all different kinds of things just to kind of stay in shape, but also still find joy in a time when that's, you really have to look for it these days. And I'm really finding it a lot.
Do you find yourself pulling out old stuff to sing that you haven't sung in a while, or what, like when if you're not prepping something that has to get prepped, what kind of stuff do you find yourself pulling out to go through?
That was so interesting. I don't know about you. I'm sure this is the case for you, that when, we're going from gig to gig to gig to gig, and then all of a sudden it all evaporates and you don't have a gig to prepare for. And so you say, okay, what am I going to do? And that was the most interesting thing, was to see what I pulled out. I pulled out Und ob die Wolke, of all things, which I had never learned, and I think is beautiful. And so I enjoyed singing through that. And I sang through a lot of Mozart concert arias, and A Perfido, the Beethoven. And I learned the last act of Arabella, and I've been singing through a lot of Strauss things. It's just so funny to kind of go from thing to thing. I've been doing some jazz, and I'm just sort of exploring and figuring out what feels good and doing that. Right.
Do your kids like when you sing at home, or are they like, shut
Sometimes. up? My little one, she's like, that's too loud for me. That's too loud for my ears. And the older kids like it. I think it depends on the day and how close they are in proximity.
Yeah. So do you usually have a lot of concerts around the holidays? Is that usually a busy time for you?
It is a busy time usually. And there are some things that I tend to do every year that we won't get to do this year, or we're doing in an altered way. So it's just going to feel different. And we just made the decision in our family to only have our family for Thanksgiving, which is the first time in my life that I won't have spent Thanksgiving with family and friends, depending on whatever combo is available. And there's something I really like about that, because it's going to be a holiday with the people that you've been quarantined with for however long now. But it's going to be a day of celebration of our family, and I'm really looking forward to that. And I think the holidays are going to be hard, and it's going to be a real exercise in focusing on the great things, the good things, and finding the little moments of joy. I was making Christmas cookies with my kids today, and flour went everywhere, and sugar was up on the ceiling, and people were squealing, and eggs were on the floor. I mean, there was just no, it was complete pandemonium. And we all just started laughing, and it was great. And it was a really sweet memory that I'm really glad to have.
Do your kids have they made like special requests for, what they want to eat for Thanksgiving or Christmas, or, do they have favorites that they're hoping for?
Yes, our oldest is really into baking, and she was excited about pie for Thanksgiving. So we're going to do an apple pie. And then I found this chocolate mousse thing that I think we might try. But the one thing she wanted, no questions asked, was mashed potatoes. So we are going to make buttermilk mashed potatoes.
Oh, yeah.
So that'll be fun.
I was going to ask, so where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Alabama.
That's
from northern Alabama, yeah.
Yeah, I thought that you were from I was going to actually ask, do you have any kind of Southern foods that pop up during the holidays?
My mother, she made all of our meals, all our parties. She did herself. She made everything in her house, and she didn't do a ton of Southern recipes. She really loved French cooking, and she really loved Italian, and so she kind of branched out for somebody in Alabama. So we didn't grow up eating, biscuits and gravy. We grew up eating, artichokes in hollandaise sauce. So like that was kind of our thing. But there are some traditions that we have in our family. My mother makes an excellent pecan pie, and we do have a family recipe of eggnog that will certainly, put you on your back.
Is there a special twist or something special about the family recipe?
In the eggnog, it's all about the ingredients and the order of them, and doing it by hand matters. And then there are 4 different kinds of liquor that's in there, and it all works in the end. It's much better than your store-bought stuff. It's nothing like the store-bought stuff. It's smooth and delicious. And I personally, I have 1 cup a season, and that's it. But a lot of people really enjoy it.
So what are the 4 alcohols that go in it?
Well, you start off with a full dozen eggs, and you separate all of them, and you whip them independently. And then you have heavy cream, and you have, peach brandy, whiskey, peach brandy, bourbon, rum, dark rum, and oh gosh, the last one I guess is a family secret. It's on my recipe. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but yeah, so those are the ones.
Don't you find as you get older, I mean, maybe you don't, but I definitely have, when I've kind of taken over the making of certain things, I'm like, wow, I didn't realize how expensive cooking at the holidays was.
Oh yes. It will hit your pocketbook. So it's a good moment for creativity.
So where in the country is your husband from originally?
So he's a New Yorker, and he grew up in New York and on Long Island, where we are now. So he's right at home where we are.
So where do you have something coming up that is going to happen that you're going to be leaving for, or are you still kind of hanging in the balance waiting to find out?
I'm kind of hanging in the balance right now. The next kind of opera project that I feel will happen, hopefully, knock on every piece of wood, is The Lord of Cries at the Santa Fe Opera. They're doing opera about Dracula, which is so great.
That's so great.
And it's an amazing cast. It's Jared Ott and Anthony Roth Costanzo and David Portillo, and it's going to be just a riot. And the music is John Crigliano, and Mark Adamo is the librettist, and it's just absolutely beautiful and interesting and lush. And we're really enjoying working on it.
So would you bring your family to Santa Fe then?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll bring my kids out there. That, for you, it's a very special place for me. I did the apprenticeship program there, and then I sung a lot of roles out there. So I spent a lot of summers there. It
Yeah.
feels so much like home. It feels like a family out there. And so when you get to go sing at the Santa Fe Opera, you go for 2 or 3 months. I mean, it is a long chunk of your summer, which is wonderful because you feel like you actually get to settle in somewhere. We're so itinerant that it's so nice to be able to be in one place. And so for my kids, it'll be fun to go out there and they can do some camps and get to know the area and get to know a different part of our country. And I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, and get to know a place that's special to you. They won't forget that. When they're older, they'll have this shared love of a place, that you love.
Exactly.
And that's really neat to think about too. So out of your family, who would you say is the hardest to shop for the holidays?
Oh gosh, that's tough. Actually, it would either be my husband or my father. Both of them tend to get what they want and don't need a lot of stuff. So I tend to try and find something that is of interest, hoping that it might be of interest. Um, my mother is fun to shop for because she loves everything. So you just kind of smile when you're
Oh,
shopping for her, finding something that you think she'll love. Um, and for the kids, they're all really into all the toys and all the clothes, so that they're really fun to shop for.
so do you have any favorite holiday memories or anything from when you were a kid? Is there anything your family did or?
Every year growing up, and it's something I've continued in my adult life. Every year growing up, we would go to midnight mass at our church
Oh,
in Huntsville, Alabama, and it was so popular that I remember as a child, as a 4 or 5 year old child, we get really dressed up, and it was late. It was a late service. I think it was 10 o'clock or something. So for a young child, it's a really you're
yeah.
tired, but you're so excited. So it's that kind of animated energy mixed with fatigue that really kind of makes you sparkle. And you would go, and there would be so many people there that people would stand on the sides of the church, lining the church, and they would light all the candles and sing all of the hymns and all of the Christmas carols. And then at one point they'd turn off the lights and light candles, and everybody would sing Silent Night. And it was just a magical moment that I remember. But my favorite moment was walking outside right after the service when everybody was so full of joy, and you walk out and it's just that winter cold, which in Alabama it's rare. But somehow on Christmas Eve it always had that kind of nip in the air. It rarely snowed, but it definitely had that nip in the air, and that's when it felt like Christmas to me. So I've always loved that memory.
Do you think you'll find a way to do that this year? Have something like that or?
I don't know. I don't know what we'll do. I usually sing "Oh Holy Night" at St. John the Divine on Christmas Eve, and I've done
Oh,
that for the last 6 or 7 years. And I love being a part of the service, and I love hearing all the Christmas carols, and being able to sing on a night like that. But this year, obviously they're not doing it, so we'll be home, and hopefully we'll stream it or sing some Crystal carols by the piano or something where we're kind of all together like that. When it comes to the holidays and memories about the holidays growing up, my parents would always throw this big New Year's Eve party, and my father would sit down at the piano and play all these old show tunes from the 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s, and sit for hours and play while people stood around and sang. And then my mother would make this incredible spread of homemade food for everyone to eat. And so it was a really beautiful party. And one thing I remember when my mother was cooking for that, or for Christmas dinner, or for really anything, when she kind of got in the groove in the kitchen, she would sit there and sing hymns while she was cooking. And I was just thinking about that the other day, actually. Finding that joy, like the moment today, making cookies with my kids. It was just kind of a similar feeling of finding joy all together.
does your dad still play piano?
Oh yeah, he loves it. He loves it.
That's
It's a really relaxing thing for him.
I can just even when you were just talking about that party, I could completely feel it. You know what I mean? When you think of those holiday parties where, everyone's in their, sweaters and, like warm clothes or, with a drink in their hand, and the room feels warm with light, at night, and just cozy.
Exactly. Yeah.
That just sounds so beautiful. Did you do that pretty much every single year? Did your parents do that?
Oh, every single year. Also, every single year, we would trim the tree on Christmas Eve, listening to the broadcast of King's College, Cambridge, their evensong, which for them is in the evening, but for us is in the morning. So we'd get up and at 8 o'clock in the morning or 9 o'clock, whenever it was, we would turn on King's College, Cambridge evensong. And so every year that was a really fun tradition to do. And yeah, we had great traditions growing up, and it's been really fun to establish some new ones, with my own family. I've really, really enjoyed that. Christmas tree shopping and trying to find the right ornaments and hanging all the lights.
Did your husband ever get to come down to Alabama and go to one of your parents' parties?
No, they had stopped by the time he came along. But maybe one day they'll do another one and he can go, because that was a fun party. Coming in. Let's see. Hi, James. You want to come say hi?
Hey, James.
You can say hi, Miss Emily.
Hi.
Hey, James. I heard you made some cookies.
We're making cookies, aren't we? Yes. Sorry.
It's perfect. I love it.
Does
he already have his jammies on?
Oh, yeah.
Rhinoceros slippers.
Yeah,
what's on your
rhinoceros slippers.
Yes.
Very exciting.
You got to keep those feet warm. Did you get to eat any of the cookies yet?
No.
No, not yet.
Because we didn't finish making them.
Well, then I guess you got to finish making them. What kind did you make?
Sugar cookies.
Ooh, did you cut them out already?
Not yet. We put them in the refrigerator to make them hard so that we can roll them out to make our things. But can you tell her what special things we have to cut out the cookies?
Christmas cookie cutters.
Yes. Oh, that'll be a lot of fun. Are you going to put some sprinkles or frosting or anything on them?
Frosting.
Yep, that sounds perfect. That's what I would do too. Do you think you might want a pet someday? A dog or a cat?
What do you think?
I'm going to have a dog.
That's good news to know.
That's good news.
I'm gonna name my dog Fenway.
Venway?
Fenway.
Fenway?
That's what name of MJ's dog.
Fenway. Okay. All right. That's good to know. Now we have a dog named. We just got to find the dog.
So Susanna, what song would you like to hear and who would you like to dedicate it to?
Well, my favorite.
No.
James, silly goose. I'm here with James, and my favorite Christmas carol is In the Bleak Midwinter. And I would like to dedicate it to James's grandmother, Babs, and my mother, Barbara Phillips. That's right.
Beautiful. Well, here you go. Here is
Okay, here we go.
Midwinter.
Are you ready? You ready to see it? Okay. This is very, very special. Ready? Okay. Ooh. Oh my gosh.
Hi, it's Chris Lowrey and my good friend Michael Garrepy here in Providence, dedicating In the Bleak Midwinter by Gustav Holst to Susanna Phillips, big fan by the way, and her mother, Barbara. Merry Christmas.
Oh, that is so sweet. Oh. Wow, that was beautiful.
Look,
Both of
Emily,
them.
I have
Both
a
of them.
monster.
I mean, I'm the fan.
Hey, Mom.
I'm the fan in all this. Wow, beautiful. That
Look.
means so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. That meant the world to
Well,
me.
very Merry Christmas to everybody at your house.
Merry Christmas. And this is such a wonderful idea. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be a
Yeah.
part.
Yeah. Well, take care, James. It was a pleasure to meet you. And I hope you enjoy all those cookies.
Can you say, nice to meet you, Miss Emily?
Nice to meet you, Miss Emily.
All right.
Mommy.
Bye.
Okay. Have a great night. So good
You
to see
too.
you.
Happy
Bye.
Thanksgiving. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for joining me tonight. And a special thank you to Susanna Phillips, Little James, Christopher Lowrey, and Michael Garrepy for your music. James, we hope you got to gobble up a lot of cookies. And Susanna, you left us hanging, but we're all going to figure out what that fourth ingredient is in your secret family eggnog recipe. I'll be talking to soprano Alex Lucian on my next episode, so tune back in for that. Take care, happy holidays, and remember, it's after 5 somewhere.
Fonzie